Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald is the sequel to 2016's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which itself is not a prequel to Harry Potter, but also not a spin-off of Harry Potter. I guess J.K. Rowling has described the series as an extension of her Wizarding World. Just call it a spin-off, that's what it is. It's a spin-off. Crimes of Grindelwald takes place a few years after Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Grindelwald is on the loose. He is gathering people for an all-out war coming up. Newt travels to Paris, meets with Dumbledore. Dumbledore assigns him this task. And we have a movie. A movie that has left me... I just got out of this movie. It has left me very conflicted. There's a lot of stuff in here that I really did like. There's a lot of stuff in here that I was just like, I don't get why J.K. Rowling did this. First of all, I will say this. If you have seen the early reviews for this film, it is a very overstuffed film. This movie's 2 hours and 15 minutes. The content in this movie could have been stretched out for 2 movies at least. There's numerous subplots, there's various characters that come in with little to no introduction. All these subplots form the basis of what you think is a main plot, but it keeps going back and forth to each one where it's like after a while you just forget what's going on. And then towards the end of the movie, it's like, oh, so it's all part of the main plot, and you find out that it's part of, this whole game, Grindelwald, or Grindelwald. I don't know how you say his name. It's said 2 different ways. I hate that. It's all part of his master plan, and it all makes sense in the end, but it's just like, did we need numerous subplots? It's like a lot of these subplots just involve characters meeting up, going to some place, investigating a clue, and then it's like, okay, no, that clue's leading you somewhere else, so you can just go to that place, and then that's leading you somewhere else, and then, oh, well, what you're looking for is not here, so you gotta go to this place. It's just, that didn't really make any sense to me. In that way, the movie is overstuffed. There's a bunch of characters, as I said before, that make it look like this movie is overstuffed, and it is. It is. There's a lot of characters in here that don't get any backstory, that don't get any introduction. We know little about these characters. There's 3 scenes, count them, 3 scenes, towards the end of the movie, within probably 10 minutes of each other. That's all exposition. One of these scenes occurs right after the other. I'm just like, oh wait, we're learning about this, but that's not what happened, so we're learning about this? Okay, that was kind of a sudden shift in story. That's the thing with this movie. J.K. Rowling wrote the first Fantastic Beasts movie, and I thought she did a very good job with that. I did rewatch it yesterday, and I did notice that there were some things that didn't have to be in there. I was like, this feels slightly overstuffed. This movie is definitely overstuffed. And here's my thing with J.K. Rowling with this movie. I don't know if she realizes that she's writing a screenplay instead of a novel. It felt like she was writing a novel, because in a novel, you can include all the extra stuff that you can't include in a movie into a book. In a movie, you have to cut some of that stuff. I don't know if she knew what to cut in this movie. I don't know if she had like a script editor where it was like, okay, no, that scratched, that scratched, that scratched. I don't know if it's all part of the grand scheme of things, but there are characters in here where I'm just like, this feels like a one-and-done thing. Kind of like Graves in the first one. He was a one-and-done thing. I wanted him back, but it's just, he was a one-and-done thing. There's characters in here that are introduced in this movie, just a one-and-done thing. I can understand maybe if you're keeping these characters around for the rest of the series, then okay, that's fine. But maybe not even introduce some of these characters in here. There's one character in particular who I was like, did he have any effect on the plot except for showing up in an action scene? Did he really? It's stuff like that. And J.K. Rowling, to me, is becoming the George Lucas of the Harry Potter franchise. She's like, okay, this is established lore. And then when she's writing these movies, she's like, okay, no, everything I told you before, yeah, forget about that. That's all gone. This is what it really is now. For instance, Nagini, yeah, I am holding a wand right now. It's like, for instance, Nagini, it's like, okay, yeah, I get that. I was on board with it before I saw the movie. Now I'm completely off board with it. There's also another thing in here where I'm just like, ugh. It's stuff like that. She just seems to be retconning stuff for the sake of retconning stuff, but not in the way that J.J. Abrams is going to retcon stuff for Star Wars Episode 9. Come on, we all know what's happening. Luke Skywalker's probably alive. We all know it's gonna happen. I feel like she's just retconning stuff for the sake of retconning stuff because she was like, wait, I changed my mind. I don't want that to be canon anymore, so I'm just gonna redo it. It's like, if this isn't a prequel series, if this isn't a spin-off series, if it's an extension of the Wizarding World, then why does it feel like it's somewhat of a reboot? That doesn't really make sense to me. I don't know if this is like her grand scheme, because this is going to be a 5-movie series, so if she's going to keep doing this throughout the series, I'm going to be like, you're just George Lucasing it now. I mean, you can't make up your mind about what's canon and what's not canon. Come on, lady. Just pick something. Before we know it, she's going to tell us Dumbledore's not gay and he didn't have a relationship with Grindelwald. Or Grindelwald. That's something I'm going to talk about in a minute. The character of Credence Barabone, played by Ezra Miller, I hate that guy. Both the character and the actor, I think they're completely useless in these movies. I didn't like Credence in the first one. I thought he had that stupid haircut. He literally looked like he was wearing a fishbowl on his head. This one he's in it more, but it's like, oh, well, I don't know where I come from. Like, oh, my parentage and all that. It's like, dude, I don't care. Okay? And Ezra Miller is not a good actor. And I'm not saying that because I don't like him as the Flash. I've seen him in other things, and he's not good in anything. You can't express emotion, buddy. So just stop. Claudia Kim as Nagini. It's fine. Zoe Kravitz as Lita Lestrange. Fine. Imagine me doing this for the whole review. This is still Eddie Redmayne in this movie. Yeah, well, I mean, we gotta find something, right? He still doesn't make eye contact with people. I don't know, is that part of the character, or is that Eddie Murphy? Eddie Redmayne being like a method actor? I don't know what he's doing here. I thought Catherine Waterston was great. I thought Dan Fogler stole the show. Alison Sudol was fine. But I don't know what Eddie Redmayne's doing. He's acting like a method man up there. Let's talk about the character of Jacob Kowalski for a minute. As I said, played brilliantly by Dan Fogler. This guy doesn't... There's no further development with his character. Jacob Kowalski doesn't progress in this movie. That's what I really thought, that he was going to be like, oh, whoa, since, you know, I mean, they had, after the end of the first one, they had a, you know, she had to somehow weave in how it's like, oh, he knows about the Wizarding World now. And it's like, I felt that that was done way too quick. I felt it was way too contrived. And then he didn't really do anything. I really thought that he would be the character that would do something, you know? And he really didn't. He kind of got on my nerves after a while. Like Drax in Guardians 2 and Infinity War, he's just a comedy guy. That's what I felt Jacob Kowalski was in this movie. Just the comedy guy. That's what he's been relegated to. However, Jude Law as a young Dumbledore and Johnny Depp as Grindelwald, fantastic. Jude Law really captured the calm, collective manner that we know of the Richard Harris Dumbledore. Johnny Depp gave one of his better performances in recent years that I've seen. The thing is that there's so many subplots and so many characters in this movie that it's like, it's like, okay, I feel like Grindelwald's barely in the movie, but then he's in it for quite a bit when you really think about it, and it's like, okay, well, I don't think Dumbledore's in the movie all that much, but he's in it quite a bit when you think about it, and it's like, okay, I don't think Tina's in the movie all that much, but she's in it quite a bit. I don't think Newt's in the movie all that much, but he's in it quite a bit. There's so much to juggle here, it feels like everybody's just sidelined for a good majority of this movie. However, there were some really awesome moments in this movie. The opening scene of this movie, fantastic. I was hooked right then and there. I wish it was a little bit better of a movie, but that opening scene was awesome. It reminded me of the chase in Deathly Hallows Part 1. I'm just gonna call it Deathly Hallows because it's one movie. It reminded me of the Seven Potters chase in the Deathly Hallows. I was like, this is awesome! That's so reminiscent of that chase. Also, I mean, this is in the trailer. You know it's here. Hogwarts. Oh, man. I love that school. What a relief to see it back. There's a section in this movie that takes place at Hogwarts, and that's honestly the best section of the movie. It takes place in the present. You see what's going on in the present, which is, honestly, isn't all that interesting. It's just cool to see Hogwarts again. But then the stuff that they show of Hogwarts in the past is what's really the best part of the movie, and adds a little bit of layer to Lita Lestrange's character and Newt Scamander's character. It was awesome. The finale of this movie is, I don't know how I feel about it since I don't like one of these characters, but there is a twist at the end, where I was just like, oh my god, that just happened. She just did that to us. There's also another twist in the movie where there's a character that does something and you're just like, oh god damn it, come on. Now I don't know the direction that J.K. Rowling's gonna go with these next movies. That's the thing. This movie does a good job at making you guess as to what's gonna happen next. It's gonna make you want the third one next. This is what this movie succeeds on. It still has a lot of that magic, just not as much as the last Fantastic Beasts movie or previous Harry Potter movies, except Prisoner of Azkaban. And I did like the darker tone that this movie took. It is a very dark movie, both thematically and it's very dark looking. There's a lot of scenes at night, a lot of darkness, a lot of scenes that are filmed in the shadows, so everybody kind of looks like a silhouette. There's a lot of that. But I think it fit the tone of this movie. In the finale of this movie, the action scene, that was perfect. That was like the epitome of darkness in a Harry Potter movie other than Voldemort. That was awesome. Everything with Grindelwald was awesome. Everything with Dumbledore was awesome. Everything with Newt Scamander was awesome. David Yates did a really good job directing. I'm glad that he was retained for this series because he knows the lore of this world in and out. Again, there's a lot that is overstuffed here. Some of the Lita Lestrange stuff I didn't like. All the Credence stuff could have been taken out of the movie. You could have just left him dead because I hate that guy. These characters, you could have been taken out. There's this one action scene that involves cats, and it totally doesn't belong in this movie. What it reminded me of was that action scene on Canto Bight in The Last Jedi, which was the Fathier chase. That totally could have been taken out of The Last Jedi. This scene in this movie could have been taken out. I didn't see the purpose of that. A lot of the beasts steal the show, too. I mean, the Niffler, I love that thing. The Niffler's awesome. There's this giant, like, lion, dragon-looking thing. That thing was cool. All the beasts, that's what captures all the magic. That's what really hammers home the fact that this world still has the magic in it. Whether or not it feels like it's getting stale is another question. There is a lot to talk about with the Crimes of Grindelwald. It is overstuffed to the max with plot and characters, and J.K. Rowling kind of retconning a lot of stuff that we already know, but it is still enjoyable. It leaves me conflicted because I'm like, I enjoyed a lot of it, but then there was some stuff where, as a Harry Potter fan, I was like, there's a lot of plot holes now. There's a lot of retconning. This is what happens, JK, when you retcon and you turn into George Lucas. So there's a lot of that for me. It's a I think it's going to be a very conflicting movie among Harry Potter fans, although the final action scene and the big reveal, the two big twists at the end, I think are going to sell a lot of people on it and be like, you know what, that was amazing. And for me, I think it was an enjoyable movie. It was entertaining. I mean, it's not the best movie in the Harry Potter series or the Wizarding World. I do think it's a better movie than Prisoner of Azkaban. Prisoner of Azkaban's always been my least favorite Harry Potter movie. There's always been something off about that movie. Whereas with this, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, it's overstuffed and there's too many characters, but I think it's more enjoyable than Prisoner of Azkaban. And with that, I am going to give Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald a B. Definitely a bit disappointing. I'm not sure where J.K. Rowling's going to take this story next, but I am eagerly awaiting the third movie, and it's 2 years away, because the end made me want the third movie. Even though there's some stuff in here I really don't care about. Guys, that is my long-winded review of Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Now, if you didn't know, I was trying to review all the Harry Potter movies and the first Fantastic Beasts movie before this movie came out. That did not happen. I didn't have enough time. Very busy man. So I do have a review of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. You can check that out. Maybe one day I'll fill in the gaps. Probably when the next Fantastic Beasts movie comes out, or if I'm just bored one day, I'll be like, you know what, I want to watch Harry Potter. I'll review the rest of the Harry Potter movies and Fantastic Beasts. Maybe I'll wait till this one comes out on Blu-ray and just watch them all then and then review them all. So you have the Sorcerer's Stone and the Crimes of Grindelwald for Harry Potter Wizarding World reviews. So check those out. Guys, also check out my website, My links to my social media accounts will be on that website. I will leave that link in the description below. You guys are the best. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for more reviews soon.